This is the Action Sports Jax postgame show.
Well, you just watched it, and my, oh my, hallelujah, finally, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Houston Texans at home. First time since 2017 that the Jaguars, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It could have been easy. Houston kept trying to give us the game, but we just wouldn't take it. We wouldn't take the game. Houston said, here. Houston said, here. Houston said, here. And we'd say, no, not yet. No, not yet. No, not yet. And 2 turnovers on the final 2 drives for the Texans allowed the Jaguars to get the victory. 2 great things about this. Number 1, the victory gets Jacksonville to 2-1, which is big because we talked about the schedule and stuff, and beating and winning a divisional game at home. That's big. Maybe even more importantly, drops Houston to 0-3, which basically is a knockout punch. I don't know that they're going to be able to get up from that one. 0-3 teams that have made the playoffs since 1990. 4 of them. Only 4. Good luck, Houston. You have a problem. So anyway, great win for the Jags. Like I said, wasn't pretty. A lot of storylines to tell you about, a lot to cover. We're waiting on Liam Coen. He's going to hit the podium here in a few minutes, and we'll have his comments for you live here on the post-game show. BTJ bounce-back game? No. It was BTJ, oh my God, until the end, when he finally caught one and went 40 yards that set up the game-winning touchdown, which, by the way, Houston let them score, obviously, right? So they chose to go that route and see if they could come back and tie the game. Jaguar fans not real happy to see Azeez Al-Shaair back. Lots of booing, a little bit of security for Azeez. It was good stuff. Certainly an intense game, physical football game, and the Jags went toe-to-toe with them. Houston does have a very good defense, I will say that. And then most importantly, to finally beat the Texans here at the bank. The first time since 2017. Josh Hines-Allen had never done it before, and he was able to do it with a tip ball, or he got C.J. Stroud's hand at the end. Ball was tipped, ball was in the air. Antonio Johnson with the interception. Think about this. The Jaguars now have, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks this year. Last year, the entire season, they had 6. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good defensive effort. Got some work to do on the offense, obviously. Trevor had 1 glaring, terrible throw. Did have 6 drops. The receivers, I don't know what's going on with those guys. They got to get it fixed, but it's a lot easier to fix when you win than when you lose. If we had blown, here are the stats, by the way. That's not, he wasn't 20 of 50, Olivia. He's 20 of 40, wasn't he? Yeah, I mean, my gosh, it's a good thing I'm here, people, to make sure that I know what's going on. 20 of 40 for 222 yards, which is only 50%. It ain't good, but honestly, should have been 26 of 40. And even if there's a couple drops, I mean, he would have had close to 300 yards. But again, the interception, Trev, what are we doing there? What are we thinking? Cannot do that. But it doesn't matter. Look, again, it's a lot easier to fix things when you get the victory. Put those numbers back up again so I can see what C.J. Stroud did. Because the Jaguars, Houston's offense is terrible. Now, I would have doubled Nico Collins because he's the only guy who can beat you. But in the end, Nico Collins had one of the fumbles, a fumble that led to a turnover, or that was a turnover, and the Jags were able to get that ball back, and that was big. So he was 25 of 38. He threw a couple of interceptions today. So great win. It doesn't matter how you did it at this point, right? It doesn't matter. We're trying to change everything around here, and the most important thing is judge us on how we play on Sundays. And there you see that it was definitely a defensive game. 17 first downs for the Jags, 13 first downs for the Texans. Red zone, Jags scored 2 out of 3 times. 3 turnovers to 1. That's the key, baby. You get those turnovers, man, you can win football games. And I'm telling you, right inside that locker room right now, they're feeling real good about themselves with that victory, because that was a gut check, and that was a tough one. And it was a great win for the Jags to improve to 2-1 on the season. So let's dive deeper into the game. The Jags couldn't run the ball. Houston has played 2 offenses the first 2 weeks that are very similar to the Jaguars, right? They played the Bucks and they played the Rams. Liam Coen was with the Rams and he was with the Bucks. They run basically the same kinds of offense. So ETN had a couple 7-yarders, but had to grind out 56 yards, 16 carries. He got 10 on a gift on the last run. That was the long run of the day. Bajal Tootin did get into the end zone. He does fall forward, 6 carries for 21. I can't complain for them not running the ball more because they could not run today. Houston gave up almost 170 rushing yards last week to Tampa, and obviously they made it a priority to stop the run. And they were going to take away the run and make Trevor beat us and beat them. And that's what their game plan was clearly. And in the end, it worked for the Jags as they were able to get the victory. But man, oh man, how many times we got a 4th and 2, we go for it, the ball gets tipped. We got Cam Little to put us up 2 scores. Cam Little hasn't missed all year. Finally missed. And that's on Coen too, because he was hesitant. He was going to go for it, then he wasn't. I'm like, kick the ball, bro. It's 10-3. Kick the ball and make it 13-3. What are we doing? But in the end, you know what? Then he goes to kick the ball, and Cam Little misses it. But I put that one on Coen, man. Don't mess with your kicker like that. Let's send him out there. He's automatic. So, again, small things and things that we can be critical of, especially because the Jags were able to find a way to get a big victory here. And listen, AFC South is wide open. The only unfortunate thing is that the freaking Colts keep winning. They won again. They went up to Tennessee and put one on the Tetons today. The Colts were victorious, and they are a perfect 3-0 to start the season. And they're getting excellent quarterback play from Daniel Jones, who I guess right now, fair to say, has been the best quarterback through 3 games in the AFC South. But they're 3-0. The Jags are 2-1. The Titans haven't won, and neither have the Texans. So kiss the Titans and the Texans goodbye. Their season is almost defunct, almost over. They still have mathematical chances, obviously, but it's awful tough in the NFL. They do have an extra game now. We play 17 games a year instead of 16. But to me, early on, looks like an improved Jaguars football team. And what we did today is, to me, is we moved up a tier. You know, we're not really ready to compete yet with the big boys of the AFC, I don't think. But every little win gives you a little confidence, gives you a little something going forward. So every little victory matters. And by taking down Houston, it drops them to 0-3 and puts you at 2-1. What'd you say, Liv? Okay, let's look at some of the scores from around the NFL. You can't figure the NFL, man. The Vikings beat the Bengals 48-10. Well, have fun with Jake Browning. I guess he looked up and it wasn't a teal team he was playing. He had a terrible game. Steelers were victorious over the Patriots. Anytime you win on the road, it's a good thing. Go figure the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons coming off a big win over the Vikings last week. They go up to Carolina and they lose 30-0. There's your Colts score, 41-20. The Rams led the Eagles the whole way. And then the Bucks win, but they only win by 2 points. 29-27 over the Jets in that game. Those were some of the early games. The late games, of course, just getting started. So we'll see how that all pans out. But as of now, the Jaguars with the victory, and they improved to 2-1. Listen, Houston's got a lot of problems. Their offensive line is terrible. Really, they have Nico Collins as a weapon. I don't know what else they're going to do. C.J. Stroud is going to get beat up, and he doesn't get much pass protection. The Jags were able to get to him, were able to affect him throughout the game today. So Houston's offense, I don't see Houston rebounding. I see Houston more as because remember they play a first-place schedule too. I see Houston more as a 5-11, 6-10 football team. I see the Jaguars more, as I've said all along, more like a 7-10, 8-9 team. However, if they can get some wins like they got today where they come out on the winning side, then things start to change. I think the division is wide open. I think 9 wins get you the division championship in the AFC South. I think at some point Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts will come back to earth. But again, the Jags and the Colts, they benefit from playing an easier schedule than the Texans. So going forward, well, we know where we're going. We're going to San Francisco next week to take on the 49ers. Then we come home for a Monday nighter with the Kansas City Chiefs. which will be a packed house, a sellout, which we'll welcome here at the bank. Sparse crowd today at the bank as we look at the schedule. Put that green W up there for the Texans. Then you're home against Seattle. You go to London to take on the Rams. Those 7 again, but now you got 2. If you get one more and you get to 3 and 4, man, you are in great shape at the 7-game mark. Because then you got the Raiders, who are not very good, the Texans, who we've seen. The Chargers are good. The Cardinals are decent. But then things really open up over those last 6 games. 2 with the Titans, 2 with the Colts. That's the divisional showdown. Liam Coen at the podium right now. Let's listen in.
Program and putting a corner piece into the foundation.
Huge ability to stay the course. You're winning the game for the majority of it. They obviously got and tied it up. But even though obviously not playing our best football offensively, defense kept us in it. And they played their tails off offensively, found a way to have 75 yards rushing in the second half, which obviously we didn't have much in the first. ETN played his tail off, and then those guys make a play at the end of the game versus zero blitz. And it got it, in a huge moment. So very proud of this group. They played their tails off and kept competing.
Coach, the resilience factor, not just with Brian Thomas and the receivers with all the drops, but also the defense that had a chance to put it away late last week, came back and did it this week. What kind of confidence can that build for such a young roster? Huge.
They should take so much confidence from this, especially defensively, as you mentioned. Tyson Campbell, gets hit on the double move and then comes back, right? It makes a huge play, playing through the hands on a potential explosive play. The fact that we take the ball away as much as we have and give us so many opportunities to go and have extra possessions. You talk about finishing a game the right way. I mean, it was not pretty. It was not for us offensively, but we can take, and we should take a ton of confidence from this to go clean up. We got to clean up the mistakes. We got to play better and work on the drops and all that. But, man, I'm really proud of this group and the way that they competed and finished this game.
Specifically for Brian, obviously the drops early. He's getting booed, throws his helmet on the sideline. How big was that 46-yard catch?
Huge.
You saw all the emotion afterwards. I mean, just
Huge.
Had to get him on the right track. Right?
Totally. I mean, I thought it was trending, early on. He goes up on the fade and makes a great effort, and you're like, dang, okay. He didn't come down with it, but, man, it looks like it's obviously trending. And then I thought when we had the third, and I think it was 14, where we had the illegal shift where he had a good big time catch. I think that would have got him going. It was every time you had an opportunity to almost get things rolling, something negative occurred. So, just talk to him in the locker room and just, really proud of the way that he finished. That was a huge play and a big time moment. So, we got to get it cleaned up, but he should absolutely take confidence from that play and be able to continue to go forward.
Hey, Liam, Jordan Lewis continues to make big plays for you guys. Is it kind of hard to really measure the impact he's had on a defense last year that really was kind of lost?
Absolutely. He is, by far one of our best leaders in our organization. Was in my office Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. talking to me about some things and the mentality that Jordan has, that he competes with, that he spreads his word and our word to the rest of the guys. He's infectious. He really is. He's a pro's pro, but he's not going to just be quiet about it. I mean, he wants to reach everybody that he's involved with, not just the defense, offense and team. So he's really proud of Jordan. So happy to have him, obviously, but he's definitely a catalyst for us.
When you're just starting as a new head coach, what does a win like this do for you when it's not going right, but then all of a sudden at the end it does?
Yeah, it had you had a little bit of an eerie feeling almost, kind of like last week in a way, where you're like, oh God, they're moving it a little. But I was kind of a little, I don't want to say yelling during that last drive, but I was probably a little frustrated. And Campy's like, dude, we got it. Relax. But it was great. Gave me confidence. And the way that they were playing, I wasn't questioning whether they were going to get a stop, but you're starting to see it get moved down the field. And, but there's no flinch really out of that group. I mean, last week was obviously disappointing to not finish it on the right end, and to see them go out and take this win, to go take it from them. And that's what we did.
Hey, Liam, 3 games now seeing Josh Hines-Allen in action, and today obviously with the tip at the end. Just what have you seen from him, and how important has he been to this defense?
Huge. I mean, like we kind of said during the week, it hasn't quite shown in every stat book, but his presence, what he does in terms of affecting the game, both in the run and the pass, has been really, really something that's helped us out to get other people to be able to get pressures, and the way that he affects the game, but also just his practice habits, man. Like the way Josh practices, the way that he is in the meeting setting, the way that he lifts, the way that he does everything is really what we're trying to continue to do as a program, and really proud and happy for that defense, especially for Josh.
And Josh was incredibly consistent from the start, had a hit on Stroud, I think, on their second play, drew numerous holds. It just seemed like throughout the entire game, and then obviously makes the tip at the end that Antonio gets the pick on. Yeah. But just, can you talk about how rare it is to see a defensive end affect a game from basically the first play to the last?
No, that's a great point. He did. He was. They started fast. I mean, we elected to defer for kind of that reason, honestly. It was just to kind of get our defense out there and let them go start fast and affect the game. And those guys did that. Josh, the length, but it's just his strain and the way. I'm not taking anything away from his athletic ability, his talents, how hard he's worked, but it's the way that he plays, his strain, his finish. Even if he doesn't win on a rush, he does. Those guys really up front have all done a nice job of getting their hands up and affecting the pass game in different ways. So really, I mean, he was pretty emotional in there and excited and juiced up. So hopefully it's a sign to keep moving forward.
Liam, what did it say to you, the running game, just being able to get it going in the second half after starting a little slow?
Yeah, I mean, early in the first half, we had a bunch of runs called, and then they had some blitzes and different look. They came out in a 5-big package to our 12 personnel, which was unscouted. We needed to adjust to that at halftime, which we did. And obviously we're able to get it going a little bit. I probably had too many, so some of those runs in 11 personnel, they're bringing Petrie off the edge, and we had some screens and some things. The one that was tipped earlier in the game when we were on like the -30, that was versus 0. That thing was going to be a huge play, but we didn't end up getting it. So called a lot more runs that ended up getting actually executed just because of some of the defensive structures and looks that they were presenting. And then in the second half, like I said, I thought our coaches did a nice job adjusting, communicating those adjustments, and being able to get some dirty yards in the second half when we needed to run the ball.
Trevor seems frustrated at times with guys not being lined up right.
Yeah.
He's not getting in quick enough. But how do you think he fought through all that?
I mean, Diami goes down, right? And we were kind of going into this game with a little bit more for Parker based off of last week, right? And the way that he practiced all week. And then, we kind of catch the drop bug a little bit. And so your confidence just as a quarterback, right? Like, it wasn't the timing and rhythm. Some of the stuff wasn't there early. And then when it is there, we're not catching it. And then so you start to force it a little bit, specifically that third down, interception, probably a force. But, man, I was very proud that, he was frustrated. We're all frustrated on the sidelines and communicating. But there really was none of this at all. It was just accountability. Let's just go play the next play. And then in a critical moment, that play to BT was all Trevor in terms of the can. Like, that was a run play that they had saw blitz on, 0 blitz. He gets out of the play. We had a run on. He gets out of it, fixes the protection, picks it up, and then we execute the, kind of skinny that we had in there, and BT comes ripping in the window. He delivers it on time. I mean, yeah, it was a very frustrating outing in a lot of ways, man. But I'm hoping and we're hopeful that a moment like this can maybe do this for us and help us go to the next level in terms of understanding truly what it takes to throw and catch at a consistent level.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Liam Coen with some thoughts and comments. You just heard him telling you exactly what he thought. And again, very proud of the football team, a resiliency that the football team had. Look, frustration, yes. Confusion, yes. Things that need to be fixed, yes. But a lot easier to do it when you come out on the winning side. And listen, as much as Houston kept trying to hand it to you, in the end, the Jaguars had to go take it. And we give them credit. The Jaguars had to go score the touchdown that put them up 17-10. The Jaguars had to stop the Texans after the interception by Trevor. They had to stop them, and they got a turnover. Then they had to stop them again after Houston let them score on the ETN run, and they did it again with another turnover. So, yes, Houston was trying its best to give this game to the Jags. Houston's got its own issues to deal with. They are in trouble. But that aside, Jaguars still had to make plays, and they were able to. I thought he just described the Trevor Lawrence to BTJ play beautifully. Look, we got problems with BTJ. I don't know what in the world's going on. We'll hear from him in just a bit, I suppose. Here are the top weapons, and Brent Strange, the only one. And, he had a couple penalties today, but, 7 targets, 6 receptions. Brian Thomas Jr., 2 for 55. Again, he still has now, if I do the math, 7 receptions in 3 games for 115 yards. Parker Washington, and Brian had a bunch of drops. Parker Washington, a couple drops, 4 for 34. Travis Hunter made a play today, which was great. Travis Hunter made a great play. It was on a 1st and 20. He got 21 yards. He got a first down. That was a big play. And then Tim Patrick chipped in with a catch as well. So, again, the guys are there, man. They got to figure this thing out, though. And they got to figure it out quickly because it's a great win at home. But you're not going to go far if you continue to play like that. And I think we played more down to Houston than we did. Again, we should have been up 16-3, 21-3, things of that nature, and we simply weren't. And I can tell, but you won the football game. This is one of those all-timers, like, man, you're happy that you won, and it's a big but so what, right? In the end, it's so what? You're 2-1, and you enjoy this one. You're smiling. Houston's got to get dressed. They got to go get on the bus. They got to go to the airport with a big fat L that they're carrying from Jacksonville, Florida, for the first time since 2017. So very important for the Jags to exercise that ghost here at the bank today, and they were able to do it. Another good point for the Jags. Now 2-0 at the bank. Frankly, they've been not very good at home. Have to reestablish the tradition. Josh Hines-Allen, huge game today at the podium now.
They had, and then obviously in the game on the deflection. Where does this one rank for you in terms of getting the win over Houston and how well you played throughout the entire game?
I mean, first and foremost, man, my teammates, man, we battled our butts off today. We knew it was going to be a take-it game. That was going to be an offense, defense, special teams, whoever was going to be in that moment at the last second, we was going to have to take it. So just, I just want to give all credit to God and my teammates, man. They battled their butts off. But for me, man, I just did my part. Tried to stay one play at a time and just, do what I can for my team. And, I saw opportunity, and, yeah, we ended the game the right way.
Josh, 9 turnovers already forced through 3 games this season. You had 9 all last year here. Has Coach Campanile brought some new stuff to the thing, to the system, or are you guys just able to make more plays?
I think it's a little bit of everything. The play calling is obviously more aggressive, but then we also have guys in the back end that does this, that's in the right spot, that wants to be physical at point of contact, and that just wants to play for each other. And then once we all buy into what we're doing up front, good things happen. Obviously, good things are happening. We trust each other. Rushing coverage, trust each other a lot. Devin Lloyd is playing out of his mind right now, and him and Foye both. So, if each level guys are playing at a superstar level, we'll be a tough team to beat.
Josh, Coach Coen said you were a little emotional in the locker room. Was that because of the history with Houston, or the way the defense is playing? What
emotional before or after?
After the game, victory.
We just got to win. That was That was a tough win. It's so hard to win in the National Football League. And the mentality that we wanted to come into this week was we got to take it. Last week we kind of let that slip away, and we didn't take it. And here was another opportunity for us to go get it. And so for us to go out there and to prove that we are that type of team, we do have, we're building something very special here. We got to keep capitalizing off that. So, yes, I was very emotional. Huge win against a good team, nevertheless. But it's just a great, building point to how far can we go and move on to next week.
Hey, Josh, can you talk a little bit more about that? This is the kind of game that you guys have really struggled to win over the last 2 seasons, and to get one, what does that do just mentally for the confidence of this group going forward?
I mean, it's huge, man. I feel like, going into each game, we expect to win. We put the work in every single day. We trust the process. We trust each side of the ball, offensively, defensively, special teams. We just trust each other. And so to go out there and to prove that point that, we are a close-knit team, and to go out there and fight for each other and just get it is just a wonderful feeling. And we just going to have to keep building on it. But next week is a different task and different opportunity, and we got to go about it a little bit different, but just keep the main thing.
Did you get the ball with your right hand or your left hand?
My right hand, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
He's not so sure now.
Josh, congrats on the victory. Last year you guys lost to this team twice. I mean, is it a confidence matter this time around to do that and to beat them? And secondly, take us through the last drive. They made a 4th down conversion to keep the drive going. What's going through your mind through the team, as they're driving down the field, and what kind of calm do you have during that?
So those are 2 different questions. So let me try to remember the first one. The first one, I mean, last year was last year. Now, we built in a whole new different regime here. The guys that we brought in, the guys that we drafted, the guy you're about to talk to after this, are guys really bought into this organization. And, we just play for each other. And again, like I just told him, man, it's a week-by-week league. It's a take-it league, and we're at that mindset of taking every opportunity we can. Second question, being in that situation was just like, we gotta take it. We gotta get it. No matter the situation, they wasn't gonna score. That was our mentality. Holden, they not scoring. They can drive the field, whatever they want to do, they not scoring. And, we just made a play. And Antonio was in the right spot, being where he's supposed to be, and took advantage of the opportunity. And I can't be more proud for him. And come back Monday, watch this tape, and move on to San Fran.
Hey, Josh, it's probably the 3rd game in a row where Jordan Lewis made a pretty big play.
Yeah.
2 of them that resulted in wins. But just what has he meant to this defense? And you talk about confidence, being able to have a guy like him on the team, how has that helped the confidence of the defense?
Man, he's huge, man. I learned a lot. I gained a lot of respect for him the first week of practice. The way he attacks it, the way he kind of pushes and motivates and challenges everybody in his room and then outside the defense. And for me, as a guy that's been here, and I kind of carry myself the same way, to see that and to see a guy make a lot of plays, just makes me want to become a better player. So I think he just pushes the guys that were at that point to become a better player. And just, I'm not surprised now. Like, it's like, I expect him to do these things, not because, like, he is who he is, but because he does it the right way. And he challenges and he pushes and he motivates the guys to do it the right way as well. So, I'm so happy for him. I'm happy that he's on our team. I know he's glad and proud to be on our team and to be a Jacksonville Jaguar and create a culture here that's, that we can build on and, set a standard for ourselves.
Hey, Josh, it seemed like you guys got pressure pretty consistently today. What does this performance just kind of say about the guys you have up front and the unit you guys have kind of built up there?
I mean, I think coming into the week, Coach Camp challenged up front. He said it was going to be, we're going to rush forward and we're going to drop everybody else. And so for us, it was just like, we got to go hunt. So I think just starting out Wednesday practice, our mindset was we got to go. We got to attack. We got to prove to them and to prove to everybody else in our defense that we can take advantage of games. So today was just, just a carryover from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday, to where we can just go at it and to prove the point that we can just rush forward and we also can blitz, because you see what happens when we blitz, we get turnovers, we change up the secondary disguises. So Cam has done a great job on listening to us up front, and he's calling a heck of a game. And I love playing for him. I think we all do too. So we got his back. Thank you.
All right, that's Josh Hines Allen. Outstanding performance from him. He's been very good all year, but he hasn't finished. But he does affect the quarterback over and over again, and today he really did, and he got a sack and he got a tip ball, and he's one of the reasons why the Jags won. The other reason on defense, the play of Jordan Lewis has been spectacular for this football team. It's a thing that stands out to me as to why the Cowboys are always so poor, because they lose Jordan Lewis. They let him go. They don't keep him.
What was it like?
Oh, there's Travis Hunter. Let's catch up with him right
reaction
now.
Of beating Houston, a team that's had the Jaguars' number for a number of years.
It's a blessing. We came out with a dub. We went in there, did everything the coaches told us to do. Even when we had little setbacks, we fought through it. The adversity, we fought through it. So I was pretty excited to come out with a win.
And what'd you make of Josh Hines Allen's performance today?
He did great. He did what he was supposed to do. He helped the team out. He did his job, and we was able to capitalize on one of the big jobs he did at the end of the game.
Travis, what's it like for you when you see a guy who was struggling like Brian was today, and then to come up with the big play at the end of the game? What can that do for him, and what does it mean for you guys to kind of see him come through in that moment?
It's just a confidence booster for all of the guys in the room. We see him as a leader. He's a 1,000-yard receiver. We expected him to be on top of his game every game, and just to see him bounce back and block out all the noise and just go do his job and do what he's supposed to do, it means a lot to the younger guys in the room.
This is the kind of game that this team hasn't been able to really win the last 2 years, where it's comes down to the end. There's one play here made here or there. So did you hear guys in there talking about that and what kind of boost this gives to the confidence overall?
No, we don't talk like that. We go out there and try to win every game. We go out there and do what we're supposed to do to win every game. We don't talk like that. We don't talk about what happened in the past. We just present in the future and present right now.
How good was it to finally get loose and the 21-yard catch and run? How did that play open up for you?
They called my number. They gave me the ball, and I did what I always do my job.
And what's it like being in the room with Jordan Lewis, and what does he bring to the secondary?
He's always focused, always ready and always on top of his game. So just having him in the room, you got to do your job because he's going to do his job, and that's what he expects. He expects for all of us to do our job because we know he's going to do his.
Travis, as an anthropology major, I'm curious to hear your take on the culture of the Jacksonville Jaguars, maybe compared to the Colorado Buffaloes.
We just got work to do. We just got to continue to win for them so they can keep coming out and showing the fan base.
Thanks, Travis. Appreciate it. My man, short and sweet. I love him, man. He gets up there. He fires off answers. They boys are trying, man. Did I just hear a question about an anthropology major and culture and questions like that? Okay, well, Travis handled that one deftly, and then out he goes. So one catch for 21 yards, a lot of snaps on defense. Don't have the full numbers on snaps today, but we'll check on that and have that for you tonight on Action Sports Jax prime time. Look, here's the massive overview about the Jags after 3 games. They're a better football team than they were a year ago. So that's the start, okay? So let's at least focus on that and be grateful for that. And now let's hear from Trevor Lawrence at the podium.
Walk me through that play, and also what kind of boost do you think that will be for him?
Yeah, it was awesome. Just next play mentality. I think there's a good example of that in today's game. Things didn't go our way for a lot of the game offensively, and just finding a way to make the next play. They had a cover 0 pressure that we were able to see and identify and get to the right play, and Brian just did a great job of winning and making the play. That's why I told him on the sideline is just, hey, stay in it. You're going to end up making the play to set this one up for us to go win it. And it happened.
You alluded to it a little bit there, but the whole team kind of got infected with the dropsies there during the course of the game. As an offensive leader, quarterback, what is your responsibility that you feel that you want to take on the sidelines in that situation with everybody? Yeah,
just keep encouraging, keep getting guys to just next play mentality, think that way. And, it's not all on them, too. There was a lot of stuff that, I didn't play my best today, so there's a lot of throws that, I went back or I didn't put in the spot I wanted to, and it's all of us together. But it was good to see us not let that dictate how we were going to finish the game and just find a way to make a couple plays at the end when it mattered to go up, and then obviously our defense can't say enough about how they just kept fighting and had our back, and the turnovers, the big stops. I mean, we put them in some bad positions, and they just kept making stops and kept playing. They never looked at us and were like, "What are you doing?" When they easily could have. We were playing pretty bad there, the middle stretch of the game. So hats off to them. Just it's a team. It's a team game, and you find a way to win, and you fix the stuff that needs to be corrected. But it's a lot more fun when you win.
You and Josh Hines-Allen have gone through a lot here. What was it like seeing his performance and then walking off the field, kind of arm in arm with him in a victory over Houston?
Yeah, it's awesome. A guy, like you said, I've been here with for going on 5 years now. We've been through a lot together, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. To see our team just continue to come together and that, family feeling like we talk about with our team and doing it for each other. And you can see that happening. And I think as a team, we feel that. And just being able to go and win games that aren't pretty, that's something that to be a really good team you have to do, and we did that today. And you obviously want to play better moving forward as an offense, but to be able to go win games when you don't play your best is important. So that was a big step for us today.
Trevor, things just kind of looked not in sync at times with you. Is it just a matter of mechanics? Was it just people not being in the right spot? You mentioned the dropsies a little bit.
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think there were some times where, on the interception, I got greedy, just a dumb play by me. I got to just check it down, and we either punt or maybe we run for the first down on the underneath there. So that's just a really bad play by me. And then a couple misses, just some accuracy stuff. I need to clean up a couple, communication things, a couple drops. Like I said, it's a mixture of all the things. We all got to be better. Starts with me as the quarterback. I got to be sharper, got to play better moving forward to give us a chance. You can't rely on our defense to get 3 turnovers every week and get pretty much every stop. We got to go score some points and, control the game a little bit.
Hey, Trevor, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but just what kind of confidence does a win like today, where it's not always pretty, but you win anyway? What kind of confidence does that give the team?
A lot of confidence, when you have that feeling of you don't have to play perfect to win. You just have to continue to fight and play the next play and find a way to make the plays when it matters. And you don't know when that's going to be. Today, fortunately it was at the end and we were able to make those plays, and that's when it mattered and we needed them. But on the flip side, it's not going to be like that every week. Sometimes the mistakes get too much to come back from, and you got to play a little cleaner throughout. So it's the NFL. It's hard to win. You enjoy all of them. We're going to enjoy this one, and we're going to move on and go get ready for San Fran. But, man, it's hard to win, so I'm proud of the team and how we bounce back. And there's plenty to clean up, but, we're going to enjoy it.
With the defense playing the way it has, 3 takeaways in each game, just how has that kind of supported you just as a quarterback, as an offense?
It's huge. I mean, you win the turnover margin, statistically you're going to win most of your games. So I think for us as an offense, we have to continue, speaking to myself, to take care of the ball and, use that as an advantage for us. Don't give them freebies back when our defense is doing a good job of getting turnovers. So got to continue to just sharpen up on that and play better and take care of the ball. But yeah, it's huge when your defense can get turnovers. That's the name of the game is getting the ball back in this league.
Trevor, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen for this team, or from last season to this season? Anything that has really led to the success that you've had so far?
I think, like I said, just that feeling of coming together and fighting for each other, and that's something that's hard to put your finger on, but you can feel it, and that we are coming together as a team. So we got to continue to. It's a long season. There's going to be some ebbs and flows of this season, and we got to continue to build on that. But man, sitting in that locker room and on the sideline when bad things happen and seeing how everyone comes together, we're not divided. It's cool to see. So it makes you feel good. Like I said, if you can pull, you can go out there and find a win when you don't play great on offense. Your defense has your back, and you find a way to go finish it. It's a good feeling.
Oh, yeah. So I just wanted to know, what do you think has changed? Obviously, last year, the last 2 times you guys played, it didn't go your way. So what do you think has changed the most about the team?
Against Houston, you're saying specifically?
Yeah.
I think a lot of things have changed. Like I said today, I think just the grittiness of our team, being able to find a way to finish the game, the toughness showed up. It's a really good team. Houston's a really good team, really good defense. They're physical. We knew it was going to be a challenge for us, and we never backed down from it. Like I said, it didn't always go our way, but we kept coming back and getting our opportunities, and we finally, hit the ones that mattered.
Trevor, go ahead. I think we've touched a lot on the negatives, but what are you the most proud of after that game?
Just the toughness of our team, being able to go finish it. When you find a way to win games like that, it honestly sometimes feels better than when everything goes right, just because it says a lot about your team and being able to finish and not, shell up when things aren't going well, but being able to find a way to win it.
Did it feel like the run got away from you guys? Did they really present the biggest challenge to running the ball so far in 3 games? How would you evaluate that part of the offense?
Yeah, we'll have to watch it and kind of see. But yeah, like I said, they're a physical group on defense. They do a nice job. It can be a challenge to run the ball on them. Felt like they had a good scheme to handle the run. We ran the ball so well in the first 2 weeks. I felt like they obviously emphasized that and had a good plan for us. And there were still some things there that I think that we can make some corrections and do better and run the ball better. But in the passing game, we had a lot of opportunities and didn't take advantage of all those. So, you're not going to be able to always play the game the way you want to every game. You gotta adjust and adapt and find a way to make those plays. I know as a quarterback, we got to do a better job of just distributing the ball and staying on schedule. We got behind the chains a lot today. So, yeah.
And then we saw a little bit of emotion from you when Diami goes down. Just emotionally, what does it mean to beat the Houston Texans?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I don't think it's a secret that we don't like each other. So it was a fun game for us, and to find a way to do it. Like I said, we're going to see him again, so that's all I really have to say right now. But it felt good, as you guys can tell.
Your scramble to get that first down today and took a hit at the end of it, did that kind of feel good? Was that like a mini payback, I guess, in a way?
Not necessarily. I was just so locked into the moment of the game. Like, it was such a big drive. We had to go get points. We had to go get points to win the game. We were tied up there. So third down, just making a play with my legs and trying to not get too, I guess, emotional and kind of get out of the right headspace there, because you see the other plays we had to make to end up finishing the drive to go score. We were only on the minus 40 there. Like, we still had some work to do to go win the game. But yeah, it felt good to be able to use my legs and make a play when we needed it.
Same thing about the chippiness. How much of that was carryover from last year, do you think? I mean, the chippiness on the sideline, you had to get pulled out of, I think, Gardner Johnson there at one point. How much of that was carryover from last year, and how good is it that everybody seemed to have your back?
It's good. It's a good feeling. I think a little. I think it's some of it. Obviously, it's a division game. Like I just said, we don't like each other. We don't like any of our division opponents. So it's not necessarily uncommon in that respect. But yeah, we're not going to get bullied. It's a team that's what I feel like they want to do. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's their mindset, and it's not going to happen to this team. So it was fun to be able to punch back and stand up in those moments where it's like, all right, you want to throw that punch, like, we're here,
Has this team been bullied way too often the last several years?
I wouldn't put it that way, but I think that it's an emphasis for us of that we're going to have each other's back, for one. We're going to play the right way. We're not going to go past the whistle. We're not going to be dirty, but we got each other's back, and no one's going to bully us and push us around. That's a mindset for our team, and that's important. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Mark Long, let me answer that question for you. Yes, this team has been bullied way too much the last few years, and bravo, Trevor, yes, we don't like them. No, should we? That's a divisional opponent. That's somebody you want to beat. That's somebody you see them twice a year, man, home and home, man. Congratulations to Jags finally getting it, especially after last year with the hit that he took from Aziz and seemingly, if you remember that last year, there just wasn't enough. Like, our quarterback's laying there knocked out. We're not doing anything. Not near enough. Some guys did, but not everybody. This year it's different, and that is a positive, I think, for this football team. So to get back to some of the things we were saying, the overview of this football team is they're definitely a better football team. The offense is better. The defense is better. Our special teams are great. Cam Little did miss a kick today, which ruined my epic prediction of him having the perfect season. So now I'm disappointed and bummed about that. But I'll get over it because the Jaguars got a victory. But you know who you want to hear from? You want to hear Brian Thomas Jr. Now, Brian Thomas Jr. is not one of those big, bright personalities, so I'm curious to see if we get a smile out of him, if he's mad, how he acted in the locker room. So here is Brian Thomas Jr. just moments ago after the Jags win today.
It means a lot, just being able to go out there and make a play for my team and help us get the win. So, yeah, I would say it means a lot. Just got to keep fighting and keep going.
So you're doing something not a lot of folks get the chance to do. How hard and challenging is it to stay the course, to stay confident in those moments when your number's called?
Just knowing that you're doing the things that a lot of people want to do but not able to do or can't do. So, I mean, you gotta have that mindset, and that'll help you go out there and stay focused and stay confident. Just knowing that not everybody can do this. So, yeah, you got to go out there and make the play when your number's called.
You guys lost a lot of these games last year. What's it mean to end up on the right side of this scoreboard, even though things didn't look pretty all the time?
It means a lot. It means we're headed in the right direction. Hopefully we're going to keep pushing and keep working to keep going in the right direction.
Can you give us an idea what happened on the play? Can you take us through it? 46-yarder?
Trev canned the plays. I had like a little 10-yard in route. And safety ended up driving on it, and I was able to catch the ball and go make a play.
Keeps it real simple, but that's BTJ. But definitely more upbeat, believe it or not, than he was last week after the loss. And certainly maybe that one catch can get him going, because these first 3 weeks have been brutal for that young man. So hopefully he can get started, get going again, have some big moments, and we'll see. But that was a big moment. And by the way, helped the Jaguars secure a victory today, 17-10 over the Houston Texans. So tip of the cap. Brent Martineau on the field after the game, he had these thoughts. Let's hear from him right now.
What a win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I said for the last 5 months this was the biggest game of the year. Maybe a culture-changing win for the Jags. Not necessarily how they played, but how they overcome adversity countless times, tried to lose the football game essentially, and they did not lose the football game. We've seen in years past the Jaguars lose this game just about every single time they played a game that would turn out the way it did. Jags have a lot of issues to fix in terms of dropped passes, a bad interception by Trevor Lawrence. They couldn't run the football, but the defense was outstanding, and now 9 turnovers on the season after they had 8 all of last year. We're in the 3rd week of September, and that's it. So a heck of a win for the Jags. You celebrate wins, it hides the bad stuff. This thing would have really exposed the bad stuff if the Jaguars had lost. And they keep pace a bit with the Colts now, who are 3-0. Houston drops to 0-3. Massive, massive game here. Massive, massive result for the Jags. We're going to the locker room in a moment. I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax.
Well, obviously, Brent went into the locker room and he talked to Jordan Lewis, who's having an outstanding – he makes a play every week. And this guy, again, and we were talking earlier about this, and I want to kind of talk a little bit more about Jordan Lewis, because here's a guy who's played great football for the Cowboys. In fact, a lot of people say he's the best nickel corner in the NFL, slot corner, the guy who works the inside. And he makes plays seemingly every week. And then I criticized Dallas for letting a guy like that go. Why would you? Because he wasn't that expensive. Jags picked him up. He solidified the secondary. Our secondary is much better than it was a year ago. Oh, my gosh, it's like night and day. And Jordan Lewis is a big reason why. I also had an interception today. Let's hear from him right now after the victory today.
When you go and attack how we do, and we run to the football and get the ball out, good things happen.
Another INT for you this week, man. You're playing at a really elite level right now, man. Talk about your preparation week to week and how's it turning out?
Yeah, just making sure that I have all my bases covered. I'm looking at every game that I can, through the week, seeing the tendencies and different things like that. Even if I haven't seen it from this certain team, seeing from the certain system, different things like that. So making sure I'm fully prepared to go out there and play confident.
Jordan, the way this game went back and forth, where you felt like you guys were in total control but not on the scoreboard, just how huge is it for the culture, for everything else, to just get on the right side of this one?
It's just really about our process. Our process was right. We're going to get those things cleaned up to where we're going to get teams on the ropes and we're going to finish them off. But it's a good thing to know that our process is working, and that what we're doing during the week is really getting shown on Sundays.
Is it hard on the sideline?
How are you guys getting a win like this
We just taking it one game at a time, honestly. Like I said, our preparation is, the same. If a win, lose, or draw, go out there and prepare our hardest, go out there, practice our hardest, and, watch film as hard as we can. So that's what we do every single time we come out here, and, the results are going to be what they are. But I know we have a really good team, and I think our results are going to be really good.
Jordan, was it challenging on the sideline at times? I mean, through some of those things were really deflating. What was it like for you guys staying together?
It's not my job. My job is to go out there and create turnovers, get the ball back for them, and score on defense. That's not my job to go out there and, tell them what they're doing wrong and things like that. My job is to stop offenses, and that's what I told the guys on the sideline. Our job is to go out there and stop guys and make sure we get the ball back to give more opportunities to our offense. And when we needed the offense, they came up really big for us. So that's just, complimentary football, and that's what we pride ourselves on doing.
How much can those takeaways just re-energize the sideline?
Yeah, that's our calling card. Go out there and take the ball away. We've been talking about that since OTAs. We just want to go out there and force turnovers and make it a bad day for the offense and those quarterbacks that we're facing. So we've been doing a pretty good job of that. You just got to stay on the screws and keep preparing.
Coming into this, when you guys were leading the NFL in takeaways, you got 2 more today. What's been the difference between this year and last year?
We got 3 more.
Oh, 3 more.
We got 3 more. It's honestly it's our process. Like I said, it all goes back to that. When you have success and you have sustained success, it just goes back to every day that you train and the things that you do in practice. And that's what we've been doing. We've been practicing getting the ball back, and you can see it's coming to fruition on Sundays.
Jordan, is it Antonio Johnson's interception at the end of the game?
It felt good, man. It felt really good, man. Me and Antonio was talking on one of those third down, and he came up really big for us. So him just being ready, like I said, being prepared, making sure that we have all of our, we dotting our T's, dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and making sure that everybody's on the same page. And it was really good to see him, come up with a turnover.
Jordan, I know it's early, but is it satisfying to come to a new team and deliver the way you're delivering? It looks like you're playing really good football.
Like I said, man, this is what I do every day. I think about getting the ball back every single day, and that's what I've been doing since I've been in the league. Trying to get the ball back and preparing my hardest to make sure that I can affect winning. So I mean, it doesn't matter week to week. That's what my mindset's going to be.
Great performance by Jordan Lewis. Great performance by the Jaguars defense today. All in all, limiting the Houston Texans, who offense is a bit challenged. Let's keep it real. Let's be honest. But just 10 points, man, that was outstanding by the Jags defense. And most importantly, because, again, they played such a good game, but if they had let them score at the end and it tied and then anything could happen, and then we're dealing with 2 weeks in a row where the Jaguars defense gives up a late touchdown, that would have been very depressing. And, of course, they had a terrible bust on the Nico Collins touchdown that let Houston tie things up at 10. But, again, the Jaguars were able to go and make plays and win this football game in the end. So let's take that. One more before we go. Brenton Strange, the leading receiver on the day. Let's hear from the Jaguars tight end right now.
I mean, we knew what it was coming into it. They're a great team. We got history with those guys. It's always a tough battle when they come here or we go there. So, it feels good. But honestly, there's so much that we left out there, and there's so much that we did self-inflicting. And I just, I can't wait to fix those things and get back on the right track and just do this the right way.
Yeah, is there almost an annoyance or frustration even though you end up on the right side because of all the mistakes?
I mean, the win feels good. The win kind of takes care of everything, but obviously we need to come in tomorrow and just, have those hard conversations and figure out what we're really doing in our preparation and everything to fix those. Because if we fix those, we're going to be a damn good offense. But those mistakes obviously need fixed because they're self-inflicting.
There's so much talk about handling adversity. A lot of it today. What can you give us a sense of the sideline, just how deflating some of those plays were, but to stay kind of in the moment and then make the right ones?
We've talked about, Coach Coen always says we want to do this when things get tough. So I think we did a good job of handling the adversity. Obviously, we got some good vets here that kind of I'm an emotional guy, and sometimes I get a little emotional, but we got some good vets to get guys like me and get me back down to just being level. And no matter what happens, it's just always being level and staying on that same track. So I'm proud of the way that we handled adversity, because I feel like in the past sometimes we haven't done a good job of that. We kind of just let it, if we were beating ourselves, we just beat ourselves all game. So I'm proud of the way that we played today, but obviously we have stuff that we need to fix.
How good is your defense playing?
So good, man. And I always say it, like, I feel like every single year, like, coming into camp, like, I got to play against Josh, I got to play against Trayvon, I got to play against Foye, and we brought in Jordan Lewis this year and Eric Murray, and those guys teach me so much, and by the way that they play me and by the way that they handle their business, just watching them come in and compete every day at practice. So it's a blessing to be able to have a defense like that, and iron sharpens iron, so I'm very thankful to go play against them every single day in practice.
Lastly, did anyone advise you to maybe put the helmet on if you're going to get in the scrum?
It was kind of a quick decision, and once I got in there, I was like, oh man, it is what it is, so if it happened, it happened. But yeah, next time I'll have to get my helmet on,
Did this game in a way need to have some of that, need to show for you guys, just for yourself, not for them, but for you to have a little bit of edge, chippiness, whatever you want to call it?
I mean, at the end of the day, this game is so emotional, and this game is played with our emotions. So, I don't think it was like needed to have a scrum on the sideline or whatever, but it's an emotional game. So, if that happens, that's what happens.
Big win for the Jacksonville Jaguars today here at home over the Houston Texans. Hallelujah. They finally knocked off the Texans. Appreciate you hanging out with us on the post-game show. Jaguars get it done. 17-10 is your final score. A few reminders for you. We got Action Sports Jacks Primetime. That's coming up tonight, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. So that should be fun. We'll break it down even more so than Jags Report Live tomorrow from Strings out at the beach, and that'll be a good time. And I think Brent and Strange, by the way, might be on the program tomorrow. We'll keep you posted and let you know when we find out for sure, but that will be great stuff, and we'll have a 30-minute recap of what has happened, and we'll look ahead to the San Francisco 49ers as well. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Jaguars winners today at the bank, 2-0 to start the year at the bank, 2-1 overall. We'll see you a little bit later.
Thanks for watching the Action Sports Jacks postgame show.